Hey trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXT Track Time. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. So yes, I'm here with Sunday and I'm going to give you some results from a Jamaican perspective from the Rabat Diamond League, where we had the likes of Shericka Jackson lining up as well as Rushell Clayton. We had so many Jamaicans lining up here, and yes, I'm going to tell you what went down. Now, kicking things off, I'm going to start with the women's 200 meters. Yes, and Shericka Jackson. Now, Shericka Jackson walks away with the win. I mean, was it ever in doubt? She walks away with the win, running a season's best 22.82 seconds. Well, to be fair, this is her first 200 meters of the season on the back of that 100 meters that she did in Kingston. So she has won 100 meters and won 200 meters now under her belt. So she wins here with a 22.82 seconds. Kone from Ivory Coast was in second, 22.96 seconds. And from France, Helena, and she was third. She ran 23.02 seconds. Now, when we took a look at the race, Shericka looked very much sluggish in my opinion in this race, and of course a bit on the heavy side as well. Now, what this kind of reminded me of as well, and it kind of impressed me to a certain degree. Now, the time wasn't as fast, but I want y'all to go back to 2017, and this was after Elaine Thompson Hera's double win at the Olympic Games, the kind of confidence that she came out with, knowing that she could pretty much sleep in the blocks and walk out of those blocks and still be able to win the race in her first 200-meter outing for that season, was the same vibe I got in this race here as well. Shericka Jackson looked like she slept in the blocks, took her time around the bend for sure, not the bend that we're used to seeing a Shericka Jackson really blaze and run. Not that she needed to, but I'm just saying that that's the vibe it gave me in this particular race. That kind of confidence, knowing that, listen, I don't have to execute the best bend and I'll still be able to walk away with the win in this particular race. Didn't look like there was much fuss, minimal fuss in my opinion, to win this race. Yes, the time is not something that would quote unquote expect from a Shericka Jackson, but again, in my opinion, she looked like she wasn't even trying in this particular race to do anything much. That was my view, right? So yeah, that 22.82 seconds. Let's see what happens again by the time we see more races. And of course, the trials is right around the corner, Tracky. So fast running is definitely coming without a shadow of a doubt. So that was Shericka Jackson winning the 200 meters for the Rabat Diamond League. Now I'm gonna jump on over to the women's 400 meters hurdles. Now the women, have been killing it for Jamaica in recent years, and they continue to do so. And we had the world leader, Rushell Clayton, line up in the 400-meter hurdles. And I expected her to walk out with the win. Actually, in my preview video, I did say Jamaica 1, 2, 3 in this particular race. And yeah, Jamaica did go 1, 2, not 3 though. We got first and second. So Rochelle Clayton walks out with the win and she ran a 53.98 seconds. Cheyenne Salmon was second. She ran a 54.27 seconds. And Jenny Russell was fifth. She ran a 55.74 seconds. Both are season's best for Cheyenne Salmon and Genevieve Russell. Now, looking at Rochelle Clayton's race is the same thing I thought when I saw her run in Kingston. Definitely a strong first 200. But when you take into consideration that you have to be running against the likes of a Sydney, and we saw what Sydney, did in the 200 meters recently, and Femke Ball, as well as so many other phenomenal 400-meter hurdles athletes. And you have to get out, in the first 200 for sure. Definitely has to work on her last phase of the race. But guess what? She's come out the fastest she's ever come out any other season. So definitely I'm expecting Rochelle Clayton. Now, she seems to me, in my opinion, to be on pace to go faster than she's ever gone, ever over the 400-meter hurdles. And her fastest ever is a 52.81 done last season, right? So I'm hoping that this season, based on the progression that I'm seeing from Rochelle Clayton, she'll definitely be able to, go a step further at the Olympic Games. Yes, I'm jumped past the trials and I'm at the Olympic Games for her. So yeah, I'm hoping that we'll be able to see everything go a step further for her. Charlotte Salmon, again, a season's best for her. Again, more races will get these athletes to become sharper and sharper over the hurdles. Jenny Russell still in the 55 seconds. What I will say is that I'm a little concerned, I'm not gonna lie, because I remember she did that interview when she talked about having that broken bone in her leg. And I don't know how much this is of race rust or, maybe struggling with a broken bone. It could very well be race rust because Jenny Russell tends to, sometimes start her season really slow. And then again, as she gets more races, she gets much more sharper. But then I'm thinking about also the whole broken bone factor as well. And I'm wondering if this has anything to do with it as well. But we'll see again as the races continue or as we get closer to the national championships. With that said, she also runs the season's best 55.74 seconds. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to the women's shot put and give you some results from that as well. Now, we had Danielle Thomas Dodd line up here, and she placed fourth in the women's shot put, throwing 18.54 meters. Now, in my opinion, Danielle Thomas Dodd seems to be taking a bit to get going. Not sure if she's struggling with anything because considering that she's still competing, not sure if she is, struggling with anything, but definitely slow on the uptake this season. Again, when we look at the distances that are winning these competitions, like the one that won here from Chase Jackson, a 20 meters meeting record throw for her, right? Those are the type of distances that Danielle has to get into if she wants to contend. And I'm seeing actually more and more women this season as well throw over that 20-meter barrier. So definitely she's up against it from a world status standpoint. Of course, she'll be representing Jamaica on the global stage. She always has been and always will be. Sometimes just the one person representing Team Jamaica, and definitely we appreciate it. But yeah, she definitely needs to step her game up if she wants to get back in the medals on the global stage. All right, now I'm going to jump on over from that particular event and let's talk about the men's 100 meters where we had two Jamaicans line up here. We had Rohan Watson and we also had Yohan Blake in the line up. Now, trackies, this is an interesting, outcome based on this particular race. So we had Rohan Watson placing fifth and he ran at 10.26 seconds here. And Johan Blake was eighth, running a season's best 10.41 seconds. Taking the win was Emmanuel Esime. He ran 10.11 seconds, and Angel DeGrasse was second, 10.19 seconds. Now, clearly, these times are not anything to write about, either from a winning perspective. But when you think about, Rohan Watson having a personal best of 9.91 seconds, I really am wondering, what's happening this season with Rohan Watson, if we're going to be able to get the times done in time for trials. I'm looking at the women as well. The women aren't really impressing me so far. So I'm hoping that by the time trials rolls around, these athletes will be where they need to be and run, the times they need to run. Johan Blake is even, progressively slower than he was any other year over the 100 meters, and it's definitely going to be challenging for him this season to factor among the men from a national perspective to represent Team Jamaica. But here what? One of them not call him Duppy. So let's see what happens by the time we get to the national championships to see if any one of these guys will be able to step up, their times and really be challenging, because right now it's not looking like, that's going to be happening. But again, it's the same thing happening for the women in the 100 meters too. So let's see what will happen again as the time draws closer and closer to our national championships. Now, we do have two men in the discus throw participating as well. So let me just go ahead and give you the results for that. Well, it's still ongoing, right? But Travis Michael is in fourth place right now with a 66.04 seconds throw, and Frederick Dacres is in eighth with a 64.32 meters throw. Now, this competition is not concluded just yet. So once I have those results, I'll give that in a later video. But that's a track that is what happened from a Jamaican perspective at the Rabat Diamond League. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video, of course, and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.